Join me now to weigh in, senior fellow at the Independent Women's Forum and former Jerusalem Post correspondent in Israel, Carrie Sheffield. Carrie, thank you for joining me. Carrie, a lot of what's coming from the squad, it's absolutely deplorable. Their remarks are just so out of touch. It's like they don't know what's going on. As Nikki Haley said, she's either lying or has no clue. I mean, it is AOC that we're talking about, but their words are dangerous.
Absolutely. And Stephanie, the big issue that the squad is missing is that they're being used as pawns of Iran. That's really what this gets to, because these Hamas weaponry, it's being bankrolled by Iran. And Iran is only doing this now, note, because we have a new occupant in the White House. They're testing the waters. They are doing this. We didn't have any of this during the Trump administration. All of this provocation, all of these murderous attacks coming from Hamas are being bankrolled by Iran. Iran, we see them doing it throughout the region. This isn't their first rodeo. This isn't the only area where they do this. They do it with the Houthis in Yemen. They do it with proxies throughout the region in Syria. So the squad is so unsophisticated, they don't realize what they're doing. They are feeding into the strategy of Iran. Iran is murderous. They want to annihilate Israel. Hamas, its founding charter, calls for the destruction of Israel. So this argument I've heard over and over from the squad and other liberals that this is an apartheid state, that Israel is engaging in apartheid. There was an amazing op-ed in the Wall Street Journal by the lead rabbi from South Africa. He looks at what exactly that word means, apartheid. It has no application whatsoever to what's happening with Israel, but it's another talking point, and honestly, it's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, it is. Could you just imagine how bad the situation would be if Israel didn't have the Iron Dome? Just imagine the situation. And so, as you pointed out, AOC and folks are saying, oh, well, Israel's hitting schools and they're, going after civilians. No, that's not true. Hamas is planting themselves and using women and children as shields.
Absolutely. And the Israeli soldiers are giving warning to these civilians. They gave warning to the Associated Press. They gave warning to the media outlets to say, hey, look, we're going to be targeting. So nobody was injured. None of the AP reporters or journalists or staff were injured because they had a heads up. But guess what? Even with that heads up to the innocent civilians, the Hamas terrorists, they got a heads up too. So they actually ended up being able to move some of their assets too, because the Israelis are being extra cautious to prevent civilian casualty. So good on them. But again, this really goes back to the proxy war that Iran is waging, and the fact that AOC wants to block this arms deal to Israel. Israel is the only democracy in that region. What they do as a beacon of freedom, as a refuge for people who have been displaced and murdered throughout Europe, the Jewish people. And let me say also that if you are a Palestinian and an Arab living in Israel, you are treated the same. You have an excellent quality of life. So this notion, again, of somehow there's an apartheid state, it's simply not true.
Not true. And then I hear this, it's like a narrative. It's like, oh, well, that's in Israel. It's a distraction. Why do we care? Israel is our greatest ally in the Middle East, and we need to do everything to defend them and what's going on. I want to shift gears here. You recently penned a piece over at the Independent Women's Forum, and it's about Biden's labor secretary, and you're wondering whether or not there was some sort of cover-up in a child abuse case in Boston. Can you break that down for us?
Absolutely. So this is a case of media double standards. So we all know that the liberal media treats Republican administrations differently from Democrats. So you had the case in the Trump White House where Alex Acosta resigned because of the way he had handled the Jeffrey Epstein case. And the DOJ under the Trump administration, Trump's own DOJ, did an investigation into their own labor secretary, Alex Acosta, and found that he did actions that were actually, not above board, or that he should have applied justice more strongly in the Epstein case. So there was accountability. I don't hear the Biden White House, the Biden DOJ looking into what's happening with their own labor secretary. His name is Marty Walsh. Marty Walsh is the former mayor of Boston. And while he was in the mayorship of Boston, this is according to prosecutors. This isn't just me saying this. And also good on the Boston Globe. They've been digging into this. So while Marty Walsh was the mayor of Boston, they're alleging that a former Boston Union police chief sexually abused children. And the guy's name is Patrick Rose. Patrick Rose was arrested last summer of 33 counts of child abuse. These allegations go back decades in some cases, but some recent cases happened allegedly under Marty Walsh's watch. And what's happened is the Boston Globe has been putting in request after request to get the documents about what did Marty Walsh know, what was he covering up. He has hedged everything. He has rejected requests when he was mayor for these documents. Nothing came out. It was all under wraps until after he was confirmed. So it's a real tragedy that the Marty Walsh administration, while he was mayor, was suppressing information about what happened with this alleged child predator. And we're still finding out more about the details about this individual. Meanwhile, Marty Walsh got off scot-free in terms of not being asked about this in his confirmation.
Yeah, really a shocking story, and it's kind of the first I've heard about it. I haven't really seen any reporters digging into this, and you're so right. There's just a huge contrast between how the media and reporters treated those folks in the Trump administration and appointees, et cetera, versus how they're treating those who are joining Team Biden. And so if you remember, I mean, they even went back and interviewed elementary school teachers. What was it? Stephen Miller, one of the White House advisors, trying to dig for dirt. And then when there's information literally on a platter, I mean, it's all there for people to grab, they want nothing to do with it. It's really shocking. Well, Carrie, we're going to leave it here. Thank you so much for joining us.